Okay, let's continue. In this lesson, we will do the connections. We will do the connections between the composite blocks interface and these standard blocks that we added. Notice that we don't have to do any ECC or algorithms because we're just using standard function blocks to do our standard math operations for the calculator example. If you notice that we don't need init and inito, but we will not delete them yet. Once we finish the whole composite block, we will decide if we need the init or inito. Okay, so addition will do addition, subtraction will do subtraction, multiplication will do multiplication, and division will do division. That's looking good. Let's maybe align them. Something like that. Okay. Instead of FB1, it's always a good practice to give them a nice names. Let's do that. Add functionality, sub functionality, multiplication functionality, and finally division functionality. Okay. Next thing is to connect our inputs. Okay. How do you do that? You hover around where the edge of this input is, click and drag, and the connection. Same thing for this one, and same thing for this one. Now do the same thing for in2. Okay, now you see that they're all on the same. It's very confusing of what is connected to what. So let's see if we can align them. So what I did is I hold the control key on the keyboard and select the inputs. Now then I can do like this so that I know which ones I'm dealing with. Okay, so now we have a separation of how they look. Maybe you can drag this a little more here, and then we have in1 here and into here. Okay, now this part looks a bit dense, so let's select all of them, move this slightly on the side so that this becomes more clear. Okay, how do we connect the outputs? Now we can connect CNF like this, but when you try to connect this to here, it doesn't work. That's because it's not defined how this is supposed to behave. So the most logical behavior that we can think of is we want to merge them. So let's do that. Merge all these events into this event. Now there is of course a standard block to do that. So let's go ahead and do Control W and start typing E_merge. And you can see it says that it's in the description of the help document. It says that it's merge or it's an OR of multiple events. Okay, that's what we want to do. If any of the CNF is true, then we want the CNFs to be true. So connect that there, connect that there, and that's done. Now if you're wondering what if I wanted more inputs, and if you're looking for this small square here so that you can drag and drop, unfortunately that's not supported for this block. So you have two options here. One is use multiple copies of this one, or you write your own E_merge with 4 inputs with a simple ECC to do that. But I don't want to do that because I want to show you something else. We will do the same thing for these two blocks here. Again, you can do either Ctrl W and emerge, or you can just click on it, Ctrl C, copy, and then click somewhere outside and Ctrl V to paste it. And then you have a block here. So now you can connect those two CNFs. And of course, you still have two blocks. You need one more block. So let's do the same thing. Control C, click somewhere else, Control V, and then connect those two events here. That's it. So if you want meaningful names to this, you can say add sub merge, M for merge, and then this one is multiplication, division, merge. Okay, and this one is, let's call it all merge. And now we have this. Okay, now you're saying, you might be thinking, well, these are too many blocks and it's making my network look big. And there is a very easy way to address that in NxtStudio. What you do is you select all of that and say that I want to create a composite function block of the selected FBs. Click on that. It will ask for a name. You can call it merge 4. 4 stands for merging of 4 events. Okay, and the tool automatically creates this function block and places that there. And it also names very nicely of what is linked to what. Of course, you can change that. You can go to here and give your own meaningful names. You can use the same interface with maybe merge as the suffix. I am not doing that because there is one additional issue with this one. That is out. Now, out cannot be connected to multiple ones because if you think about it, this behavior, it's very ambiguous to decide which output will be copied and when. So it's not possible and it's not defined in the standard what should the behavior be for trying to combine these two. And there is no inbuilt library to merge the output data. There is only for the event merge. So we will have to create our own data merge function block, a very simple one that will merge these 4 outputs and combine here. And because we are also doing that, let's also in the same block address the merging of all the 4 events so that it's simpler. So we won't be using this, and we will create our own block, and we will see how to do this block in the next lesson.